We want to get back to the big decision today made about abortion laws and what it will look like in Wisconsin now that the U.S. Supreme Court has overturned Roe v. Wade.
Wisconsin's abortion law, which was established back in 1849, criminalizes most abortions in our state. The only exception to the law is if a doctor determines an abortion is necessary to save a mother's life. And here are the consequences for performing an abortion.
Anyone other than the mother who performs an abortion could be charged with a Class H felony. Doctors could face up to 6 years in prison, a fine of up to $10,000 or both. The punishment escalates to 15 years in prison and a maximum of $50,000 fine for people who perform an abortion on an unborn quick child. That's a fetus that can move in the womb. If a mother dies during an abortion, the same penalties will be enacted.
Now we have attorney Barbara Zabawa joining us now to tell us about what this new ruling means for people right here in Wisconsin. Barbara, we're very glad that you're with us this afternoon. Tell us what this ruling legally means for abortion clinics and its workers in Wisconsin right now.
Well, it means that our current state law is effective, essentially, because the federal law has basically been removed. And before today, that federal law, Roe v. Wade, had offered protection under the U.S. Constitution for abortions. And with removing that, that leaves it up to the states. And our state does have a law, as you already mentioned, from 1849 that criminalizes anyone who intentionally destroys an unborn child. And an unborn child is defined as a child that is from conception to a live birth. And there's a lot of uncertainty essentially around what all of that means. And that uncertainty in and of itself, I think, is going to create a lot of risk aversion among the medical community.
So what does this mean for access to medications like the so-called abortion pill? I know that's not the medical term for it, right?
Yeah, I think Planned Parenthood already came out and said that this Plan B pill is still legal, but abortion pill, the morning after pill, would not be legal. I really question whether any of those would be legal because some definitions of conception mean before a pill or the fetus has attached to the uterus, and a lot of birth control and these other types of abortion type of medications interact before the fetus attaches to the uterus. So I think, and ultimately there's just a lot of uncertainty. And again, because of that, people might be afraid to move forward with some of these mechanisms that we've all so long relied on.
Which kind of puts us in a gray area of us not knowing what to do. So as an attorney, if a patient or doctor wants right now to undergo an abortion and to go through with it, what do you think could happen?
Well, it's going to depend on where they live. So we have had some of our attorney general and prosecutors, district attorneys come out and say, well, we're not going to enforce these.
Right. I just saw that in Madison and in Dane County, the attorney, yes. And they said that they are not going to prosecute at all.
Exactly. And I'm sure in the coming days, we'll hear from more counties and municipal prosecutors to declaring what their stance is about the current law. And that's going to be very important because if you live in a county or locality where your prosecutors or police departments are not going to enforce this law and not going to arrest anyone if they know about a violation, well, that should give you some comfort, at least in the short term.
All right. Attorney Barbara Zabawa, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time at 4.